He's a little cranky from teething.
Oh, I can fix that. There you go. My mother used to use whiskey whenever I had a toothache. My tooth hurts.
Hello again, Whiskey Whippers and Spirit Tippers. Wun Wun here again, and today we found another one. Today we're going to be tasting the Deanston 12-year-old.
Cool. Yep.
Made actually a little bit of a mistake. I heard Deanston was a real sherry bomb, so I was ready to taste their sherried whiskey, and come to find out that this 12-year-old's is matured in ex-bourbon cask. So non-chill filtered ex-bourbon cask, but that's all right. Ready to taste it anyway. So it looks like this one was $66.99, so $83.55 out the door. Gotta love those Washington taxes. But yep, let's check this one out. I've heard so much about Deanston. Here it's an excellent whiskey. Here the 18-year-old's amazing. I've heard the 12-year-old's good. I'm not sure if I've heard anything. I'm not sure if that was a sherry 12-year-old or this ex-bourbon 12-year-old, so I'm excited to find out. Definitely a decent little pop. Let's get it in glass. Oh, it smells great and I want to get into it, but you know how we do it. It's 12 years old, so we're going to let it chill out in the glass for about 12 minutes, let it settle down, and we'll be right back at it in a minute. Don't go anywhere. All right, 12 minutes is up and I'm ready to get into this glass. Oh, like first impressions, just malt and honey. Yeah, you definitely get the sweetness of those ex-bourbon barrels, but there's definitely like a little bit of a malt funk on top of it, which I really like. It's not quite as strong as like a Glenfarclas, but definitely kind of leaning in that direction. I mean, maybe a tiny bit of vanilla, but more of like a honey and a malt funk. Let's see how it tastes. Cheers. Just silky and smooth. Nice little hug in there. It is 46.3%, so 92.6 proof. Definitely a nice little hug. Definitely, you get some like baking spices, some like cinnamon and cloves a little bit on the taste. There are a lot of flavors coming through. It's definitely still that malt. There's a sweetness, that honey, but it's not just like a plain flat sweetness. Like it's complex. There's some flavors going on in there. Like I said, definitely some like allspice, some cloves, some cinnamon. That's nice. And not too much clove. It's not overbearing, but just kind of for some extra depth in there. There are a lot of flavors. And just silky smooth. Like it's just like a nice sweet honey right on your lips. Like this one's really nice. I didn't think I was going to go wrong with the Deanston, even though when I saw it wasn't a sherry cask, I still thought a good chance of it being pretty good. And so far, I'm not disappointed. This is delicious. Let's put some water on it. Just a couple drops, see if we can crack open some of those oils, a few extra flavors. Seems like it flattened out that sweetness and it's more just the malt now. Getting a little bit of almost like the clove kind of kicked back in, a little bit more of the spices, allspice and clove, a little bit less of the cinnamon, a little bit less of the sweetness, more of a maltiness with that water on it. Wonder how it affects the taste. Let's get it. Slanjava. A few more of those oak notes kick in with the water. Kind of like what usually happens on ice, it happened with the water. It's malty, but a lot of that oak influence came through on the taste. Again, some more of those kitchen spices, the cloves, the cinnamon's kind of back a little bit. Wasn't so much there on the nose, but it's there on the taste. That's nice, but I think it killed a little. I mean, it was kind of bursting with flavors neat. I think it tamped too much of that down with the water. I like it neat better. Let's see how it holds up over some ice. Nice big fat pour. Hope it tastes good over ice. That's a lot. Ooh, right back into that Glenfarclas smell. Really like a heavy malt funk. Finally smelling a little bit of that vanilla. Kind of getting a little bit of a vanilla note over the ice. So yeah, malt funk and vanilla. Maybe a little bit of that bourbon oak influence. We don't want it to melt too much though. Let's get it. Prost. I hate like comparing it to something else so much, but I really just get like that Glenfarclas 12 out of this, especially over ice. This is a little bit sweeter, not quite so malt funk heavy, but I mean, it's right there underneath it. It's just a little bit sweeter than that. So if you've ever had the Glenfarclas 12, this is that, just a tiny bit sweeter. But yeah, it's just pure honey over your lips. This is nice. It's nice over ice. Oak, honey, vanilla, and just that malt flavor. Not super funky, but just a real malty kind of grain-based flavor. A little bit of that barley maybe, but more like, I think that's the grain coming through. But I like this one. This one's really nice. Excited to taste a lot of the other flavors, if they're as good or even better than this one. Scale out of 1 to 10. This is nice, neat, and over ice. I like it. For some reason, I didn't love it with the water over it, but with the ice and neat, this is really nice. Probably neat the best with just exploding with flavors, but there's nothing wrong with this over ice. Scale out of 1 to 10. It's right down the middle of the road. I think I just got to give it that middle of the road score. It's about an 8.5. Totally worth the buy. Totally worth picking up and tasting. Not going to blow you out of your seat, but certainly isn't going to upset anybody. I mean, I see nothing wrong with this one. I mean, it's a really good one. Good solid 8.5. Hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic week, and it only gets better from here. And until we see you on the next one, cheers.